A blizzard lashes across a dark, snow-dusted highway. Visibility? Barely a few feet. A lone car creeps forward, then slams the brakes. The headlights reveal something no one could have prepared for. Hundreds of German shepherds, silent, still. Lined across the road like statues, no growls, no barking, just a wall of watchful eyes staring through the fog, blocking every lane, unmoving. Drivers freeze, engines stall, and when rescue teams rush toward the forest's edge, thinking it's just a bizarre gathering, what they find hidden beyond the trees leaves even experts speechless. This story starts with a traffic jam and ends in a way no one ever saw coming. Before we jump in, hit that subscribe button and drop A in the comments, because you're about to witness how a highway full of German shepherds changed everything, and I promise you won't want to miss a second of this life-changing rescue. Let's start. It was just past midnight on Route 7, one of the quietest stretches of highway cutting through pine woods. A woman named Sarah and her 10-year-old son Jamie were driving home from a family visit. They were deep in the forest when Jamie suddenly gasped, pointing ahead. A line of German shepherds stood across the road. Not one of them barked, not one flinched. Their eyes locked on the headlights, calm but unshakable, like statues in the storm. Sarah slowed down, unsure what to do. The dogs didn't move. They just stood there, guarding something. Jamie whispered, "Why are they protecting the road?" Sarah rolled down her window to call out, but then, from the shadows behind the dogs, something stumbled into view. It was another shepherd, smaller, younger, limping badly. Its side was bruised, its fur caked in dried blood. The others didn't react, they didn't turn. It was like they already knew he was coming. Sarah didn't understand it yet, but this wasn't a random pack. This was a unit, trained, connected, and they weren't just standing there for no reason. But if you think this is where the rescue ends, wait till you hear what lay just beyond the tree line. Sarah pulled her car to the side and got out slowly, hands raised. The German shepherds watched her but didn't growl. That's when she saw it, tags. Every single one of them had faded metal tags, military numbers. These weren't strays, these were trained working dogs, maybe retired, maybe forgotten, but very much together. The limping pup, barely a year old, collapsed near Sarah. Jamie ran out with a blanket. As Sarah knelt down, one of the older dogs, a grizzled shepherd with a scar over his eye, took a step forward. He didn't threaten her, he just looked at her, then at the forest, as if telling her, "Follow me." Sarah hesitated. Then she grabbed her phone and flashlight and walked into the trees. Jamie stayed with the injured pup, who let him hold him gently, trusting. Inside the forest, everything went quiet except the crunch of pine needles underfoot, until Sarah's light caught something. A small ditch, a tarp, underneath, a kennel. Broken open, blood, old equipment, rope, empty food bowls. It wasn't just a hiding place, it was an abandoned training site. But just as Sarah thought she understood their story, she spotted something that turned her blood cold. They weren't waiting for help. They were leading her to it. Sarah called animal rescue. The dogs didn't run. They circled the area, guarding, waiting. Even as headlights from the arriving truck shone through the trees, they didn't flinch. It was like they'd done this before. Like they'd trained for this moment, maybe even lost others along the way. The rescue team was stunned. 8 German shepherds, all marked, all likely former working dogs, one pup born among them, injured but safe. A team that stayed together when the world left them behind. That night, every single shepherd was loaded gently into crates and rushed to the city sanctuary. The injured pup, later named Shadow, was given urgent care, his leg healed. But what amazed everyone was what happened days later. At the shelter, when separated into rooms, the older dogs began howling, low, heartbreaking. The staff tried calming them, but nothing worked until they brought Shadow back. The moment he stepped in, limping but alive, the howling stopped. The lead dog, now identified as Axel, presumed dead, placed his head on Shadow's shoulder and closed his eyes. They had done it. They had brought him home. The rescue team called them the Ghost Unit, dogs from a disbanded K-9 program who had survived on their own, trained to protect but abandoned in silence, and still, they chose to guard the weakest among them. They say dogs don't remember, but this pack did. They remembered loyalty, brotherhood, and love. And if this story moved you even a little, hit that subscribe button, because stories like these aren't just meant to be watched. They're meant to be remembered. Drop a heart in the comments if you believe loyalty like this still exists.